Listen, I guess now we have a name, the Brand Nation Project. And I literally came up with that on the spot based off of the first episode, which basically highlighted where the name came from, marinating the art and the creativity. So, welcome to week number 2. It's going to be 12 of these episodes, and then after that, probably the podcast will end. We'll see with how I evolve and where we're going to take this. But welcome to week 2 of the Artist's Way Creative Recovery. And this week was about how to reclaim a sense of identity, right? And again, just like the first week, what I've noticed is that most of the work I have done is more so like a confirmation of which areas I was actually struggling with and understanding what was happening to me. So it's been beautiful, man. Like it's pretty much been beautiful. So I want to talk about identity and some of the things I've learned this week. So first, we're going to start with something, an exercise that I did earlier in the week, which was about writing, choosing the affirmations from a list of affirmations from the first week and seeing how I respond to them. Now, before I get into anything, I want to clarify when I use the word artist in this whole entire series, it's not just artist as in like singers, but anyone that creates. So, you who are watching, you are an artist in your own unique way. You bring forth creation every day, every time in your work, whatever you do. That's the broad aspect of artist. So, whether you're a web designer, you're a DJ, whether you produce music, you produce different forms of art, you dance, all of that, you are an artist. Okay. So when I was reading um, the affirmations, two really stuck out. I'll start with the second one. I'm willing to be of service through my creativity. I was like, dope. And then there's this one I say is my creativity heals myself and others. I really love this because it made me think about this encounter I had with this artist. Her name is Chipego. She is a Zambian queen based in South Africa and she is amazing. So during the course of me sharing my art, we our pots crossed because we both had profound respect of the creative endeavors and the artistry that goes into our work and how intentional we are with it. So it's like, oh, respect, I see you. And she sees me. So it was really dope. She sent me to a SoundCloud and I really loved the sound I was hearing. And upon like further, like just going through all of her music, I missed this one song called Mantra. Now, at the time, I was going through the most. Like, I was literally losing a sense of grounding in my own identity. And the song just goes, "This is a mantra for your pain." And I didn't know I needed it at the time, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, man, if it completely changed, it facilitated the healing process that I needed to go through. Right. And this was she didn't even know, like, because she that's not the song she shared. See, that's not the song she sent me in the first place. So as I'm listening to her, it started like facilitating my healing. I listened to it over and over again. And only recently now, this year, I went back because she's released this beautiful song. Check her out. Her new song is called Lusaka. Pretty fire. But now as I'm listening, as we're chatting this year and just like congratulating each other on the work we've done, I say to her, you're not going to believe how much of an impact that one song had on me. And I poured out in a very realistic, wholesome manner just how much her art is special and it held and it resonated with me. And her response also deeply captivated me because she's like, when I actually made this, I was also in doubt because it is artists sometimes you doubt whether the art is actually worth pursuing, whether you're doing the right thing, taking the right direction. You doubt your art. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Because me then saying that to her was like an affirmation of, I see you and whatever uh, art direction you had going into the song really did shine because I received it in the way that you made it. And that made me realize that, especially with the statement, that Your creativity can heal people. You can heal yourself. You can heal others as well. And that's why it's so important to affirm this, to know this when you're making art, so that you become more conscious of the work that it is you're doing. So shout out to her for that experience. And how it goes into identity. When it comes to this topic of identity, I've always held a very strong core belief that we shouldn't argue with people's beliefs. So I do justice of not trying to argue with people about their beliefs, like especially when I'm now imposing my beliefs on top of what they believe. Because from a young age, I started to understand that anytime you get into an argument about someone's beliefs, it's not their beliefs that you're arguing against, it's their identity. Because our identity is made up of our beliefs. So if you attack my beliefs, you are literally attacking my identity. And I've started to spot that. This is why someone could be believing something that is completely wrong. You could give them the most logical reasons and give them proof that what they believe is wrong. But if it's something they have believed strongly and deeply, that it's made their identity, and they're not ready to confront that truth, arguing against their belief is you arguing against the very nature of who they are. So in turn, they'll do everything. Remember, the body is built to keep you safe, to keep themselves safe from any cognitive dissonance that may arise from the knowing or discovering that they are actually wrong. Because now, if you're wrong about a belief, then who are you? That's if you've placed your beliefs as part of your identity, not even as part, as your building blocks for your identity. So I've learned that, and it's made me approach people's diverse beliefs with grace, understanding that some people have placed their entire identity within the structures of their beliefs. So I've started to hold space for people and even for myself. That's why I stress that the best gift I gave myself throughout my entire deconstruction process was the gift to be wrong. I was willing to listen. I was willing to be uncomfortable with knowledge that went against my prior programming or beliefs that I'd inherited. And you start to question, and the more you question, you find answers, and you're able now to be rooted in the true I am, in the sense of you are who you are, regardless of any externalities outside of you, regardless of any smart debate you could have about whatever beliefs you hold, because now you have an innate understanding that, listen, I don't know everything. I'm also discovering things. And if there's new beliefs to take in, you obviously use your own intuition, discernment to then challenge whatever beliefs come your way, but sit in that discomfort that comes with being wrong. So that's my take on beliefs and identity. And this week it was like, how then do we reclaim our identity and sporting areas and places in which we are being conditioned, especially when it comes to our creativity. We've been conditioned to think one particular way. And I love that it then went into talking about self-doubt and how self-doubt can turn into self-sabotage. One of the things I personally was able to spot that I struggled with was like the fear, right? Like the fear that comes from or rather the fear that feeds the self-doubt, right? Because my fear and my self-doubt worked hand in hand. Sometimes it could be the fear of being seen by other people, the fear of my art not being received in the manner that I want it to be, you know. And when that happens, it facilitates further the fear of not being enough because you're worried about the wrong things. Instead of just concentrating on making your art, you're concentrating on other things. I even loved how in this chapter they talked about like my role as a creator is to worry about the quantity. The quality is the creators, the grand creators role to actually stress about the quality of my work. As long as I keep on maintaining consistency in pumping out my creative works, I am going to essentially then not have any fear of fixing. This is why I'm be able to do this. I'm not stressed about a lot of things, right? I'm just doing it. And whoever it resonates with, it resonates. And so far I really love the reception. If there are 20 of you, if there's 5 of you that watch this and say, oh, this is actually cool, I am happy because now I understand my creativity heals myself and others. So if it's just others is 1, 2 people, happiness. So I had to deal with that self-doubt by recognizing the self-sabotage that came with it. And that meant that I was not living a fulfilling life. I wasn't fulfilled with my experiences because I am self-sabotaging the gift that I had. I'm self-sabotaging the experiences that I want to enjoy, that I want to cultivate within my reality because of what? Because of like fear, because of self doubt. I'm not being authentic in all my expressions with the people that are coming in my life or the people leaving, you know. So that was nice. And that I started then being honest with myself. And the fruits of it was now being rooted in my identity. The more I learned about like self-sabotage. And it was this book called The Mountain Is You. Honestly, that book, if you're stressed about self-sabotage, if you're blind to it and you need a good place to start, I'd recommend that book, The Mountain Is You. Banger after banger. Each chapter is a banger after banger. And I love the title so much because, it's like if you have faith, you can move the mountain. So when that book tells you you are the mountain that needs moving, it's just like use that faith on you to take yourself out of that space of self sabotage and start living a very authentic uh, life that you strongly yearn and desire for. So yeah, that was very great. Today I'm a little tired, so I'm like just like let's go, let me. Yeah. So the other thing now I just recognized in terms just the books then the other thing that also came out now was the different types of um issues or things that affect us staying rooted in our identity. And one of those was other people's plans for our own creativity. Yo, yo. This one is true. I had to recognize quickly because as I'm shifting and leaving my old identity, I found that there are people and places that had plans for me, right? They had plans that Oz can do this, this, and this. Yeah, we're gonna need him for this and this and this. And it's not even from a place of just being reliability, but more so from I've made plans for you on your behalf. Like it totally discounts what I want. So even when I'm leaving the DJ space, even when I was finding my own path in terms of my creative works in the digital media space, I found that some of the people I partnered with, there was that sense of wanting to create a plan for me and then make me stay in that path they'd created for me. And I was like, this is also disrespecting my boundaries in a way. And splitting it is so important because that's when people cry and say, oh, people just want to use you. It's also because if you consent to it, if you don't respect your own boundaries, you will willingly be used because it's also up to you to stay rooted again, identity. When you now know your path, you were able to stay within that path and assert your dominance over your own path. So that's been something I have had to be careful and watchful of I think that has been a struggle in that I didn't know how to then set those boundaries to keep people from just like making plans on my behalf. And this happens even like with our parents. Our parents want us want the best for us, that sometimes they want us to walk in their path that they have planned for us, which is like very restricting because in the end, I've seen a lot of people that are so dissatisfied with their life path, and they feel like it's too late because they've gone putting the work of doing an entire degree they hate, chosen an entire career that they're not even happy with, only to please their parents, only to walk in the path that was planned for them, but not ever honoring their own path. And as a consequence, not living to the best of their identity. And I truly hope that that is not you. I really hope that is not you. And if it is, please sit down and start making some really overdue changes in your life. But there are good times. We keep it rolling. So each person has the responsibility to figure it out. You need to figure out your own uniqueness. They had this quote in there where it says, you have a responsibility to figure out your own path, to figure out what is you in the grand scheme of things. What is your path, you know? And I say this from witnessing people trying to force other people to see things their way. Like, you definitely know that this is healthy for someone. And I just need them to learn about this thing. Excuse me. And I also was a victim of that, in that I expected other people to figure it out for me. Which, newsflash, never goes right. I really just wanted someone to tell me what it is to do. I needed that masculine father figure guidance to say, do this, do that, do this. Or that mother figure to just figure stuff out for me and then have it in my path. And I saw how much confusion that comes with. Because now you walk into that path and you have different people telling you different things, and somewhat it doesn't fit, but yet everyone sees. They're like, oh, we see this in you. We see that in you, based off of their own perception of me. And I was like, this is bad. And I, in turn, started doing it to other people, like, especially in relationships where you definitely see what's good for this person and you just want to figure it out for them and then tap it on them. Like, just do this. It's so easy. If you just do this, you just get it. Like just. And I realized, no, that is not my responsibility. Neither is it anyone else's responsibility to figure things out for me. Even when it comes to spirituality, like, I'll see people, especially people that are in the spirituality world, right? There are certain people that will like bash Christians. Like, we just want you to figure it out. I'm like, no, but that's the wrong attitude to bring towards that particular conversation. You should be holding grace to say in their own time, they will figure it out. Even like people that are atheist, agnostic, people that don't even believe in themselves before they believe in anything else. Always, like, I've come to a conclusion: before you believe in anything outside of you, please make sure you believe in yourself. I figured that for the longest time, I didn't believe in myself. I believed in anything and everything outside of me. But to actually believe in Osvaldo, I didn't. So going back to this, it's like I've seen that thing of people then wanting to force the beliefs, to make it their responsibility to ensure people believe. Yet that is not. Even when you look at it from a biblical standpoint, You can preach all you want, but it's only when the Holy Spirit comes, which is a very now personalized internal experience, that a person can truly like take responsibility and change and do the work that needs to be done. Otherwise, you can't force it. So it truly is yours own responsibility. It's my own responsibility to figure this life thing out. And if we are on a trajectory where both of us are figuring the same thing, like the same similar things, that's when people come together and then they can partner and then move together. But they both have to be willing because it requires personalized work. It's all a personalized experience, this life thing, where all of us will have different perceptions. And when we have similar, that's when we come together in social spaces and social circles and then do and move and do the life thing and move together as a unit. But you shouldn't force anyone. And yeah, that one was also like, yeah, I'm glad I'm learning this because it sounded like I need to always continually know that the responsibility lies within me. Even in relationships, I've learned that like the responsibility to heal, for example, is mine. Yeah, you can never put that on anyone else. Same thing with trauma, like be it generational trauma, be it childhood trauma. It, it's my responsibility to facilitate a space that I can help. It's my responsibility to go to a therapist, to go to a doctor. It's my responsibility to go to the gym. You know, that's mine. I can never place that on anyone else. By doing so, I fail to actually find myself, to find and reconnect to my truest identity. So always remember that the responsibility to figure out is yours. Now, the other thing that was also a blockage in terms of identity is the cycle of, and you bring this up very well, the cycle of getting stuck in daydreaming. And I used to either you find me daydreaming about the past, what could have been, or the future, what could be. You hardly ever found me being in the present moment. I used to struggle being present. And that's when I saw the amount of regrets I've had because I'm daydreaming about the past, thinking, on this day I should have done this, or I could have done this way. And you think I'm doing it to learn. No, 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 no. I'm doing it because I just don't want to be in the present. And I saw how much it disconnected me from actually living because I wasn't in the moment. I wasn't even watching time pass by because I wasn't even in it. Before you know it, it's gone. It's happened. And I'm thinking back and contemplating and reminiscing all together, but never actually being present and holding space for myself. It really did. That one took me a long time to really deal with because it was conditioning that was now baked into my subconscious mind. It was so bad that it was like my own prison. It was a way that I could escape my reality by painting a future that was so distant so that I could mentally live in that future. And when I can't, I just go back to a past and imagine what could have been so that I don't have to deal with the present me. I don't have to deal with the trauma. I don't have to deal with all the crazy things happening in life. And I've definitely seen a lot of people do this where then they completely dissociate from living in just of an autopilot and moments are coming and going, coming and going. And I've even seen that when I go out. I had this video where I was just acknowledging the depression that's there amongst people that groove a lot. Not everyone, but I saw a very common theme amongst people where groove became an escapist's den, you know. So that was, it took a long time to deal with, and I'm finally glad I'm out of it. I wanna definitely say, like, you can even see, like, I'm feeling my body's emotions and reaction as I'm speaking about it, and there is this, whew, that one was tough to deal with. So definitely enjoyed holding my space, holding space for myself to deal with it, and I now enjoy being in the present moment. I'm not too, I will plan for the future, definitely, but I'm not too attached to the outcome. Like, this is how it must be. You know, I will now, okay, we're planned to do A and B. What am I doing in the present moment to facilitate that? But am I here and fully aware? That's why I struggled to speak initially, you know, because I'm just like in a future. I'm like thinking, okay, will future me want to see this? What? And I'm so stressed that I become paralyzed and won't actually do what I needed to do. So that's has been fun. And if I was to do a check in for the week, it's definitely been giving and pouring into myself. I've made it a mission to make this January be about be selfish with myself, taking time and space to do things that nurture me in preparation for the entire year. So I've been very conscious of what I'm choosing to do, not to do with my time. I've been conscious about the places I'm going into, the people I'm meeting. It's like I need to pour into myself so that I will be able to graciously pour into everyone else. And as this is me pouring into myself, but I know also it's going to help someone. Like how we started this video, by creativity heals myself and others, because I've also seen by nurturing myself, when I then show off, I'm able to nurture others without depleting my own energy. And I trust that you also will prioritize nature in your soul. Remember, the responsibility is yours. So yeah, that's beautiful. I did have an amazing week of journaling, morning pages, lots of prompts. I've also had like crazy, not like scary, but like really iconic dreams. Here's a plug. If you have like really vivid dreams, use AI to interpret them. They're really good at giving perspective. And obviously, I'm not saying take everything it says at face value, but it gives you a good starting point. Yo, I was like, I, God bless AI. And I was really like, I posted that and said, God bless AI. Because it really is, when you know how to use it, it serves you very well. So, yeah, on that note, thanks for tuning in. I hope you are enjoying the full moon. Um, Depending on when you get to listen to this. But right now, it's literally the done night of the full moon. And it's the first one of the year. Pretty much pumped for it. And I hope January has been treating you well so far. Take care and have a great week. See you on the next one. Cheers.